Samantha here from RecipeThis.com and the voice behind the popular Kitchen Gadgets podcast, Magic with Gadgets. Today I'm going to show you how to do air fryer homemade calamari rings, or as you might call them, air fryer squid rings. Well, before we dive into this recipe, I just wanted to suggest that you head over to RecipeThis.com. We've got more than 1,200 kitchen gadget recipes, including recipes for the air fryer, instant pot, slow cooker, soup maker, bread maker, microwave, Ninja Foodie, and many others. We also have a free weekly newsletter, which you can find on the homepage of RecipeThis.com, or you can find it on RecipeThis.com/newsletter. And there you can get our best kitchen gadget recipes sent to your inbox every Friday morning. Now back to the calamari rings. We've already shown you a video of how to cook frozen calamari rings in the air fryer, but what about homemade? And I bet you're probably wondering what ingredients you need. It might be really complicated. Well, in fact, it's really easy to cook homemade calamari rings in the air fryer. It starts with the production line. You'll need a bowl with flour in, one with beaten egg and one with breadcrumbs. Then what you want to do is you want to add salt and pepper to your flour. Same again for your breadcrumbs. And then also to the breadcrumbs, some parsley. And some dill. And then to the egg mixture, you want to add a bit of lemon juice. So much nicer when you're doing fish if you add in some lemon juice. And then you need something to mix it up with. So I recommend you do the dried bowls first, because then you're not getting egg in them. Same again with the egg. So your bowls are now ready to go. And then of course the only other ingredient you need is some squid rings or calamari. This is the bag that we've got. Fortunately it seems to have a lot of air to it, but apart from that it's fantastic. They're from Tesco's and we bought them frozen and we've let them thaw overnight in the bag. So now they're ready for going in the flour, the eggs and the breadcrumbs. And my lovely husband Dominic will be showing you how to do this, because he's a professional chef for many years and he does an awesome job of breading food for the air fryer. And over to Dominic. I've never seen a bag of frozen food have so much air in it after it's been defrosted. That is a lot of air. And now let's check out these squid rings. They don't look too bad actually. Sometimes when you're using frozen fish and using it for breading, it can look a lot worse than that. But it really doesn't look bad. And it's when it's out of season and you want some calamari, it's a great backup. And then once you've got it all out and you can check to see how good it is, you can start loading it into the flour. And you can put a few bits in at once and then mix it in the flour first before moving it along to the eggs. As you can see, we've done, well, Dominic's done about half of it first. It just speeds you up a bit. And then once it's well coated in the flour, you can then do the same into the egg. And then you'll find a few bits get buried because it's just so small, and obviously it's the same colour as the flour, so use your hands to find all your bits of calamari. And then check the flour. So we've got them all now. So it's time for them to be drenched in the egg. And then into the breadcrumbs. And then if you've not had calamari rings before, then just think of them as an alternative to onion rings. When I was on holiday throughout my childhood in France, you would often be served calamari rings instead of onion rings. And of course, if you're doing onion rings instead, you can just follow this same breading rule and then just switch out the squid for onion. And then that's batch 1. So it's just on now with the second batch. And then first, give them a really good covering in the flour. And then again, back into the eggs for the drenching. And then, once you've got them all in the eggs, give them a good drenching. And then they're ready for moving to the breadcrumbs bowl. And when you do this, I recommend that you use your left hand like Dominic does for doing the flour and the egg, and then you use your right hand for the breadcrumbs. And then it saves you getting the breadcrumbs really sticky as you're mixing them all up. And then just have a feel about, because your calamari rings are the same colour as your breadcrumbs, so you might end up with one hidden if you don't look properly. And then once you've done all that, have them loaded onto a plate, and then they're ready for the air fryer. Now let's cook those calamari rings in the air fryer. So open your air fryer basket. And then you want to make sure there's none on top of each other. That's the key here, because otherwise they stick together and you don't get that lovely crispy coating on them. I also recommend that you get rid of ones that look like that, because they're just too stringy and they're taking up too much air fryer room and they really don't crisp very well. So go for the firmer ones if you can. It's the problem when you're using a frozen product, you know, they're not normally as good as the fresh. Right, let me see if I've got another one I can put in there. A lot of these are quite stringy. Oh, that's a good one. That looks like an onion ring. You'll be able to fool your kids with that one. Then that's a good firm one, even though that's quite big, it is firm. So let's just fit that one there. So we've got a good selection of them there. We've still got some left, so you could put on a second batch if you wanted to as well. And then you want to get your air fryer basket back in. And then let's start it with 8 minutes at 180 Celsius, that's 360 Fahrenheit, and then check to see if it needs any longer. And we've beeped. So I wonder how our calamari rings look. Wow, look at those beauties. They look absolutely fantastic. And remember, this is using frozen calamari as well as a homemade breading mix, and dunking them in the flour, the eggs and the breadcrumbs. So let's try them, shall we? Wow. These are actually better than the frozen ones we did. Because you know when you eat calamari rings and the stringy bit drives you mad and all the string comes out of it and you end up with just spreading. That's what happened when we were taste testing the frozen ones, but with these homemade ones, they're just absolutely perfect. So if you want to try calamari rings homemade, then this is how it's done. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the Recipe This family. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook and Pinterest. We also have a weekly newsletter at recipethis.com/newsletter, where we share with you our latest kitchen gadget recipes, what we're cooking in the Milner kitchen, and so much more. As well as this, we recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then whenever we have a new video, you will be the first to know. And if you want to know about all our future videos, then I recommend you hit the bell for instant notifications. But even better, we now have a podcast. It's called Magic with Gadgets. Simply search Magic with Gadgets on your favourite podcast player and you'll find us there.